All right, so I want to spend a little bit of time in this video taking a look at the shipping kits that CGC rolled out a couple of months ago. And I initially was not even aware of these kits, but a subscriber reached out to me, made me aware, was asking me my opinions of these shipper kits. I promptly got a couple of them, and they have literally been sitting for months. So I think with what's happening right now at CGC with all of these in-house signings that they're doing, it is probably a perfect time to do this. And I think part of the reason why this person reached out to me is that they know that I have a lot of videos on shipping, and I've actually experimented with several different methods of shipping comics, both raw and graded. I've actually created a methodology for using CGC's own boxes combined with Gemini mailers to send books back to CGC, and I've done videos on that. And what CGC has actually created for their large shipping kit is very similar to my methodology. So it kind of makes sense that people are like, hey, what do you think of these things, right? And I just haven't gotten around to doing it. But like I said, CGC is doing all of these wonderful in-house signings right now. And there's going to be a lot of people that I think are going to be interested in participating that may not have the assortment of shipping materials that I have on hand, right? The Gemini shippers, the bubble wrap, and all the other stuff that I keep around the house for different things that I'm actually working on. So talking about these kits, I think is a perfect time right now. And I will tell you that I have two kits on hand. I have the small shipper kit, which is the one right in front of me, and I have the large off to the side. We're probably going to spend some time looking at both of them. The small one, which is this one here, can actually accommodate anywhere from 1 to 10 books, and it costs $15, and it can actually be purchased at cgccomics.com. Off to my side is, as I mentioned, is the large shipper. That one can accommodate 11 to 40 books, and that one costs $20 and is also available on the CGC website right now. When I just looked a short while ago, they actually have it right there on the home page for folks. So again, if you don't have all of the materials that you need to ship books and to be able to ship them safely and comfortably, this is a great option. You can order these things, you can get them, and then you can make some magic happen. So we're going to spend some time looking at each one of these kits and maybe even throw in a couple of tips and pointers based upon my experience shipping books, but also just knowing that there are some questions that folks have been asking me over the last several months just about shipping in general. I hope to be able to sprinkle some of those things in. So I have my handy dandy Regie Collects box cutter here. So we're going to cut open this box here. Very carefully, we're going to open it up because what I believe is that we will actually repurpose some of the materials that are actually used here. So want to make sure that I don't damage anything unnecessarily that could be important later on. And so hopefully you guys can actually see that. There is another box inside the box. It's like the gift that keeps giving. So we're actually going to take out that inner box that is marked fragile. There is also a piece of bubble wrap right here, which I think may potentially be important later. So we will set that off to the side there, and we'll set the outer box, the shipping box, off to the side. Not sure if that's going to be handy later, but this is the inner box, and it is marked fragile on all sides, which means that no one should drop kick it, which is sometimes what I believe happens when books are in transit. So again, one thing I will tell you is that if you are shipping books to and fro for whatever purpose, one thing that you may want to consider is getting some collectible insurance. It's actually something that I highly recommend. There is a video on the channel where I actually sit down and talk with the director of Collect Insure, which is the insurance company that I use. And, again, they actually protect your books, on offsite storage at your home. And they also protect your books when they're in transit. And so it's a great way to give yourself a little bit of added protection. So there is a sticker here. It's a 9.8 white pages sticker that CGC puts in here, I guess, as a little memento or keepsake. So that's in there. There is a pin right here, and it is a CGC pin right there. probably writes in perfect 9.8 ink. Red is my favorite color, as you guys can probably tell, so I'm definitely a fan of that pen right there. And then there is a packing slip here, or what is this? Shipping kits and packing tips for mail-in submissions. And because of everything that's going on right now in the world, CGC is actually allowing people to actually send books in, even if they happen to be free members, which is typically not something that you can do as a free member. You typically, as a free member, have to bring your books to a con in order to take advantage of the CGC services. But this box with another piece of bubble wrap, I think, is going to be important. So we're going to set that off to the side so that we can use that in just a moment. And then inside is essentially a comic book box. There is a piece of tape on the outside that has not been pressed down, so they actually are very thoughtful in that respect. I have my blue painter's tape right there, and it's running kind of low, so you rest assured that I have a full roll ready to go just in case. But they were very thoughtful in putting a piece of tape on the outside that can be used to seal this box. And so this is what's inside. We'll open this thing up, and there's some bubble wrap in there. Let's set this box off to the side. That will definitely be important in just a moment. And we open this thing up. This is a bubble mailer that they have, which is again another thing that we'll repurpose. And inside is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 resealable bags, which is kind of nice. I won't have to use my blue painter's tape. And are these moderns? Let's see whether they're moderns. Nope, I think those are Silver Age. Those are Silver Age bags that they sent, which is actually kind of nice, because that was one of my thoughts was, are they going to send moderns? Are they going to send Silver Age? What might they send? But let's take a look at this thing. It says CGC shipping kits provide all the materials you need to securely pack your comic books for safe shipment to CGC. And it has some details here on what's inside of the small kit, most of which we just looked at. 2 large pieces of bubble wrap, 2 bubble wrap mailers. We only got 1 of those. 10 bags and boards, 1 raw books inside cardboard box, which is that Gemini mailer-like item right there. There is a return box, 1 CGC pen, and 1 CGC sticker. And then they also kind of list out the steps here. And you can actually go to cgccomics.com/shipping kit for step-by-step directions and instructional video. We are not going to do that. We are going to just freestyle it. We're going to freestyle it, and we're going to see what's going to happen. But again, they sent over these great bags and boards, sealable Silver Age, it appears. We will not be needing those. We will repurpose those for some other books elsewhere in the collection. So we'll set those off to the side. And here is a stack of books that I happen to have. There's some Bone Parish right there from Boom Studios. The Magic Order right there. Pinocchio, Vampire Slayer, Scream, just a couple of odds and end books that I kind of had here. I Like Comics, few other books that I had in a bin sitting off to the side there. So we're going to use these books for the purpose of our demonstration. All right, so when it comes to packing your books for submission to CGC, one of the things that they recommend is that you actually put the books in the order that they are on the packing slip, not the order in which you put them into the CGC portal. So when you go to the website, you key in your information. Because they're in this order, I would have put, Scream 1 first, and then Pinocchio, and then Magic Order. But then when I get to the end and I print out my packing slip, which we are pretending that this is, you want to follow the order that is on the packing slip and not the order in which they were put into the portal. Coincidentally, they may come up to be the same, but if not, you want to put them in the order of the packing slip. And so let's just assume, for the purpose of this exercise, that Bone Parish is the first one that is on this list. The second is this book from I Like Comics. That would be the second one. So you just want to put them in the order that they are on the packing slip. And part of the reason for this is that you know that there's a lot of variance out there. And I'm giving you just an example that there's a lot of variance out there. And sometimes there are small differences between those variants. And so if you are trying to speed up the intake of your books and to get them through the process smoothly. One way to facilitate getting that done is to put them in the order that they are here. That way they can ensure that they have all of your books and nothing is missing, right? Because I don't know who unboxes these, but we cannot assume that they have the same level of expertise to know the difference between cover A and cover Z when there's so many different variants that are out there. So you want to follow the order that is here. It's a good way to help speed up the process for intake of your books. And I've actually seen it when I don't do that the right way. It slows down the process. So definitely defer to the packing slip when you're actually sending your stuff in. All right. So what CGC also recommends is that you basically put the books facing one another, right? So if this were the first book on the list, The Bone Parish, the second one was this book, you put the two books facing one another. You put the next one, this is the third book, face down, the fourth book face in, right? So that way everything is a little bit protected. I've never actually done it that way, but that is what CGC actually recommends. I've never had any problems not doing it that way, but again, you know, is it a thing of better safe than sorry? So I at least wanted to kind of throw that out there for people to consider. So let's say that we've done that face-to-face kind of thing all the way through, right? We have our books in the exact same order as what they are on the packing slip. What we will then do is put the packing slip with those books, and then we will put those books in this bubble mailer. All right, so we're going to go ahead and basically facilitate this. I'm going to slide this thing in there. And there's a little bit of extra room in this bag, so we're going to maybe make a couple of adjustments here because it'll make me feel a little bit better. So we're actually going to tape this thing down. I'm going to tape it down on the back side. We're going to use some blue painter's tape because that stuff's magical right there. And, you know, I am actually going to put an extra piece of tape on this thing, maybe to just make me feel a little more comfortable, right? Gonna maybe snag it right there. We'll see whether that's problematic or not. Sometimes there's a little trial and error with some of the stuff that we do, right? So we'll see whether that fits or whether that causes a problem. But that bag is pretty big, and so I don't want the books to be swimming left to right, which might not happen, to be honest with you, if we're putting them in this mailer. Might not be a problem at all, but you know. So this has already been folded up for us, which is kind of nice, saves us a little bit. I'm basically going to put the books right in the middle, and you know, as I'm looking at that, it actually might be okay. Let's see. Yep, I think that's going to be a problem. So we're going to actually undo that because that actually is going to be a problem. That extra thickness from folding that flat back may create a problem. But I'm going to try to shift the books, see if that'll work. We may have to bend this a little bit. We may have to bend it. Sometimes you have to make a couple of adjustments. All right, so basically all that I did here is this bottom flap has a thickness here that should accommodate about 10 books along with this bubble mailer. But what I did is I just put another little extra crimp in there in the cardboard so as to gap it out just a little bit so that it can actually fold down nicely. And what I like to do, and this is personal preference stuff, I'm always a big fan of just putting an extra piece of tape to hold the flap down. I'm not sure that you have to do that, but it's for me a little bit of peace of mind. And so we're just going to fold that inside, and then we're going to fold that one down, and we're going to use their tape. There we go. That is magical. Magical. You can see there's a little bit of space, which is, you know, not really a problem. You can fold it a little bit tighter if you need to, if you want to. But I think that thing is in there. So there you go. That is that right there. And here is the outer box, the one that we pulled out that was marked fragile. So we're going to use that. We're going to open this thing up a little bit. The bubble mailer that they had in there, or the bubble wrap, is still in there. We're going to place this on the inside. We're going to fold this bubble wrap down. Maybe tuck that extra right there just a little bit. Get a little snug. And you know what I am going to do is there is a little bit of extra room on this side and a little bit at the bottom. So let's see there's enough room here. See if we can repurpose some of this. I'm going to tuck that down there a little bit. Let me fold that. That's going to be a little too thick, I think. And again, this is sometimes a little bit of trial and error. That is going to work beautifully. That is going to work beautifully. Okay, so what I ended up doing was I used in the bottom of the thing to absorb, impact from the bottom. I laid some bubble wrap down at the bottom. I placed the inside, the Gemini shipper on the inside, and then I used an extra piece of bubble wrap to basically fill in the gaps on the side and on the bottom to give it some nice cushion all the way around. And that folds up quite beautifully. And what I would do here is I would make sure that I squeeze, the top flaps pretty tightly. I would add definitely some additional masking tape. I would not use blue painter's tape for this. I always use masking tape or, some better, stronger tape for the outside of the boxes. And to give yourself comfort, you can always basically straddle the tape along the edges to make sure that you kind of seal everything in, just in case there's water or something like that. Great way to protect it. And then of course I would print out my shipping label, and then I would affix that to the box, and I would mail this off. And you have options when it comes to actually mailing your books in. Here in California, we actually cannot use FedEx to mail books to CGC for whatever reason. Oh, wait a minute. Let me restate that. I think we can use FedEx to ship to them. I don't think that they can ship back to us that way for whatever reason, not clear to me, but I tend to ship out via FedEx because I get a discount there. And then I use United States Postal Service, UPS. Sorry about that. UPS to actually have the books sent back to me. I would prefer FedEx, but that's not really an option. And everything works out pretty nicely when I end up doing that. So there you go. That is the small shipper kit. It's $15. It can accommodate 1 to 10 books into CGC. It's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice thing, to be honest with you. So that is that one. We'll set that off to the side, and then let's go ahead and take a look at this large one. So as I mentioned, my methodology for sending books into CGC, I oftentimes used the CGC shipper. And this is one size of the shipper that CGC will send out to you. And I have repurposed these in the past. And so we're going to cut this open and we're going to see what's inside. As a reminder, this one is able to accommodate 11 to 40 books, and the cost is $20 to get this mailer sent to you. For the purpose of basically turning it around and sending it back to CGC. So we're going to cut this thing open and see what's inside. I have a feeling that it's basically the same as the small one, just a couple of extra boxes in there. So there's a box on the inside. So let's remove that. It's the best way. Right, so just like the other, there is a fragile box on the inside, and we're going to cut this one open as well. Get a look at what's on the inside. That is some thick tape. They did a double layer on that one. All right, so let me get that open. All right, so what's inside is a very thick piece of corrugated cardboard. This is part of the reason why I repurpose the CGC boxes, because of this. This thick cardboard is incredibly sturdy. This is some sturdy stuff, and that's why I like to use those things to send books into them. So on the top of this one is another 9.8 sticker and another little flyer here with all of the information for the large and small shipper. And then on the inside, there are basically 4 of these inner boxes for comics, very similar to the one that we just saw in the small shipper. And then there's also 2 pieces of large bubble wrap. And so we'll take a look. We don't need to look at the pin. I think we can figure that one out. But on the inside, like I said, are these 4 shippers. And let's just open one of these things up. This is the raw books inside. So we'll cut this open real quick and see what's on the inside. And it is pretty much exactly what we just saw, right? There is a bubble mailer on the inside. It has probably 10 of the Silver Age backing boards and bags, and it's pretty much the same thing. So you put your books inside, close it up, tape it down, stick it back in there, you know. So one thing that I will tell you, one of the questions that I get asked a lot is what happens if you have books that are where you have maybe modern books and Silver Age books, or you have, however you look at it, books that are on different tiers. Okay. What I typically do for something like that is I will actually affix the invoice to the outside of the box. And this may not be how CGC wants it done, but it's basically how I do it. So let's say that this one is a box of modern comics, and this one is a box of Silver Age comics, right? Two different tiers. I will basically have two separate invoices, one for moderns and one for Silver Age books, right? And what I will do is inside of each one of these, I will make sure that the books inside match the order that is on the packing slip. And then I will basically affix this to this. I will tape it literally to this shipper. And I will even sometimes write on the shipper and on the packing slip, like 1 of 1 or something like that. I will put like 1 of 1 on this, and I will write 1 of 1 on the packing slip as like a note to them to let them know that these two go together. And then let's say, let's stretch the example out just a little bit. So over here, I basically have two boxes of Silver Age books on this packing slip with the Silver Age books. I will put these in the proper order, right? But let's say, again, it's 20 books. There's 20 on here. Each one of these only holds 10. So I will put them in the order up to 10 in this first one, and I will write on this box 1 of 2. On this second one, I will basically then continue that 2 of 2, and it will be the next 10 books that go in here in the proper order. And then I will basically tape this to the first box, and then I will put these two invoices together. So 3 boxes, 2 different invoices in the proper order back into the box to mail to CGC. And so this is a question that I get asked a lot. Do I need to send one invoice, one box at a time? The answer is no. You can actually send multiple invoices, multiple boxes in the same shipper to CGC, and that is actually perfectly fine. At least I haven't heard that there's anything wrong with that. But this actually cuts down on your shipping costs by doing it this way. And part of the reason why you do this is because your Silver Age books will move through the process at a different rate than your modern age books. These books, the modern books, will potentially go through the process quicker, which means that you will potentially get these shipped back to you all at one time. All the moderns will basically come back to you as a single shipment. Your Silver Age books will come back to you as a separate shipment, and you will basically pay shipping twice. Right? So I think that's an important thing for people to remember. You send it out one way to save on your cost shipping it to CGC. But because the books route at different times through the CGC process at different rates, they will come back to you as 2 separate shipments. Or if you had another tier as well, it would come back at a different time potentially, right? Let's say you had another box in here of modern books that were getting cleaned and pressed. Those moderns that are getting cleaned and pressed are going to come back at a different time than these moderns will, because again, the process for them is different because of the services and because of the ages of the books that are being submitted. So just another tip that I wanted to provide you guys. But I honestly think that this methodology that CGC has come up with to be able to ship books, I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're essentially like double protected with some of the stuff that you're doing, because these inner shippers are pretty sturdy. I've sent these inner shippers to Canada and all across the US with no problem. But the fact that it's actually in an additional box, in an additional outer box with the bubble wrap to kind of add to it, and then that corrugated cardboard on the top and also on the bottom. This same piece of corrugated cardboard that is on the top is also on the bottom of this shipper as well. Those books are well protected, and this is a very, very sturdy box. So again, I think it's a great way to be able to ship your books. And if you've never done it before, this is not a bad way to do it. My very first time shipping books to CGC, I was not this sophisticated. And, you can see some of those early videos where I shipped books out and I was using a completely different methodology, and it worked pretty well. But this is definitely an advancement. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as well as the tips. Certainly, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, issues, or concerns related to any of this stuff, let me know and I will try to answer your questions as best I can, or maybe even create another video that addresses some of those questions. So again, hopefully this helps and gives you a little bit of guidance on how to use these shippers, and you can get your stuff into CGC safely and easy. Before I wrap up this video, I want to encourage you, if you are thinking about getting a membership to CGC, I want to encourage you to use the link, the affiliate link that is in the description of this video. Because of it's an affiliate link, CGC actually provides me with a couple of bucks for referring people into CGC. I basically use that money to get books graded, and then I do videos on those books. So if you could ever be so kind to click on that link, if you're thinking about getting a membership, I would absolutely appreciate it. But one of the questions that I get asked by people a lot is, which membership should I get? Personally, I get the premium membership, and I've been a premium member for a couple of years now. Part of the reason for that is that CGC actually gives you a credit of $150 on your account. The membership, the premium membership costs $149. You basically get a credit on your account for $150. So it basically makes the membership a wash. And depending upon how your mind looks at it, it's either a wash or it's a way to actually get a handful of comics graded for free. And what I mean by that is that the $150 credit can be applied to grading. It cannot be applied to other services that you may get from CGC, like cleaning and pressing and some of that other stuff. It is only for the grading of comics, but it's enough to actually get a handful of books actually graded, which is really cool. It gets put on your account. So when you are in the system and you're putting in your books and it shows you your packing slip and your total at the end, it is not reflected in that total. Before CGC charges your credit card, after they receive your books and that kind of stuff, and before they charge your credit card, they look up your account in the system to see if you have credits. If you have credits, they deduct those credits up to $150. If you spend over that, right, they will deduct the $150, and then it will charge your card the balance. And so what you will see hit your card should be whatever you spend less $150, right? So that's how that would work. And it is not what you see in the system, because I've had a lot of people that are like, Reggie, I have put my stuff in and it's saying that I owe X. Where is my discount, or my credit, I should say? It is not yet there. It is applied on the back end. That's just how CGC does it. Don't ask me why. This is how it does it. So what's really cool though about the discount is that the discount historically has been applied every single year. So when you go to renew, the way that it's been is that CGC will actually discount your account if you renew. And so in the past, it's been $120, not $149 in like year 2. And what they do is they still give you the credit for $150 in the subsequent years. And so this is something that continues to be present, or at least, again, historically has been there. Will it be like that in the future? I honestly don't know. But that's part of the reason why I recommend the premium membership versus some of the others, is because of that credit, but also because of the discount. CGC also gives a discount at that tier that's a little bit better than the lower tiers, and so it's something to consider. But when you go ahead into the description you will see an affiliate link for CGC. You basically click that, you go over to their website, and you basically sign up. And so again, if you guys consider that, I would absolutely appreciate it. And as always, if you do have questions about this video, about the membership, whatever it happens to be, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And you can actually do that on Instagram at Regie Collects, or you can send me an email to reggie@regiecollects.com. Take care.